There is a strange kind of loneliness that exists now. It doesn't always look like being alone. Sometimes it happens when people are around you. You're connected, technically, kind of, but something is still missing. Like you're surrounded by signs of human life, but not being with anyone. This is a bit confusing because we were told that connection is the solution for loneliness. But somehow, many people feel more socially connected than emotionally close. And that is because connection is not the same as presence. Modern loneliness is not the absence of people. Sometimes it is the absence of being really known. Being known means someone has stayed with you long enough to understand more than your updates. When someone knows when I'm fine, doesn't really mean I'm fine. They know the real version of you. When you don't have to explain yourself, but you still get understood. That kind of connection is difficult to get via messages. That's why it is slower. And that may be why it is disappearing. The phone changed what communication feels like. Back in the days, when you want to speak to someone, you had to put some effort into it. I mean physical effort. You had to meet your friend, agree when you'd meet each other. And when you met, you'd spend time together long enough to understand each other, even without saying much. Now, communication is constant and lightweight, like a message or comment or a reaction under the post. Maybe it's not wrong, but when most connections are only small fragments, something gets lost. We touch each other's lives, but don't enter them. We keep contact alive, but we are not close. You can message someone for months and still not know how they are really doing. Your posts get likes from your friends, but the nervous system is not counting notifications. It is looking for safety, for the moment when another person actually receives you, not just your message. And this is where social media becomes complicated. It gives us the feeling of being near people without being close to them. Even when we are honest, we are selective, choosing the photo, how vulnerable to seem, how successful to appear. You cannot perform and be present at the same time. And over the time, this changes how loneliness feels, because everyone seems connected. So if you feel lonely, you start thinking the problem must be you. But maybe the problem is not that you're asking for too much. Maybe modern forms of connection gives us less than a human being actually needs. We need ordinary time, unplanned conversations, and that kind of connection becomes rare. Not because people don't care. Often they are busy or distracted. A friend may care about you deeply and still reply 3 days later. A partner may love you and still look at their phone during dinner. This is not always cruelty. Often it's fragmentation. Our nervous systems are overloaded, and relationships suffer when nobody has enough room inside themselves to fully meet another person. This may be one of the quiet tragedies of modern life. We have more tools for connection than ever, but less capacity for presence. You can be in touch with everyone and known by almost no one. Maybe we become lonelier now because connection has become easier to start, but harder to deepen. Maybe it's good to ask ourselves, who knows not just what I'm doing, but how I'm actually doing? Because loneliness is not just absence of people, it's the absence of being known. Conversation that goes beneath updates. A willingness to let another person to be more complicated than their online version. And you can start small. One real phone call instead of 10 scattered messages. Maybe real connection is built through small moments where nobody is performing and trying to appear more complete than they are. Just two people, present enough to feel each other. That's why modern loneliness hurts so much. Because deep down we know the difference between being reachable and being held in someone's mind. It's not more contact, but one moment of real recognition. So if you feel lonely in a world where you're always connected, maybe that doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. Maybe it means some part of you still remembers what real connection feels like and refuses to accept the substitute as enough.